Well, hello, folks. I need this around. There we go. And looks like my upload went up fast for the Wake the World review. So I'm going to go ahead with I Can Hear Music, the 2020 Sessions digital release. Again, thank you, Alan Boyd and Mark Lynette, for this release. It's a godsend to hardcore Beach Boys fans all around. So I was going to start out. There's a few recordings of Do It Again. There's this alternative mix that has the regular alternative stereo mix, I should say, has the regular studio version, but also has the demo from the Endless Harmony soundtrack, also known as Rendezvous. It's kind of mashed together. And while I liked it, I really liked the part with the Lonely Sea part with Brian's vocals. It seems to be a little overwhelming towards the end. That's just my, that is just my opinion, but that's how I feel about it. And it also actually reminds me of the version of Breakaway that was on the Hawthorne CA 2-disc set from 2000, which I'll be referring to later on. And that mix had Brian's demo from the Endless Harmony soundtrack, again, mixed with, I feel like Alan Carl's vocals mixed together, and it sounds really cool together. So there's that. The acapella Do It Again. Great to hear that. I Can Hear Music. They have a demo now and a track and backing vocals, which is great. That's actually my wife and I's song. She actually asked me when I was trying to geek out on this. She was like, why did they record so many different versions? I'm like, well, I mean, it wasn't like this is going to be released or something like that. It's just I couldn't get into it. Anyway, there's the alternative version or alternative mix of Bluebirds Over the Mountain. And as you hear, I think it's Ed Carter's guitar is no longer on there. I've actually heard a lot of people really like this this mix, and I often have heard that Bluebird seems out of place on 2020 with that heavy guitar solo and whatnot. It's weird not hearing it now, but it's kind of cool. I've definitely heard a lot of positivity about that one. I was actually surprised we didn't get that Dutch single version with the ping pong type percussion and acoustic guitar and tambourine. It's fine. It's easily found, like on the Beach Boys Rarities album, but I was just surprised it's not on here. Be With Me demo that was already released on Made in California. Then we have the 2018 track mix of Be With Me. Sounds great. Also on Hawthorne CA back almost 20 years ago, which is crazy. Let's see. All I Want to Do, finally, we have Dennis's vocals, a couple of them, and it sounds awesome. I know there were some different conversations going online about how, he does well, but not as well as Mike. There's parts of it he just can't reach. And that's just Dennis's voice. Nearest Faraway Place, alternative version. I don't think there's any strings on this one. It doesn't sound as sentimental. I like it, though. The acapella 2018 mix of I Went to Sleep, which we did have the acapella mix of I Went to Sleep on Hawthorne. And, I skipped over the Cotton Fields track and backing vocals. Just kind of cool to have that. Hopefully, maybe next year for the 1969 release, fingers crossed, if we get that, maybe we'll get the single version with the background backing vocals and track. Now, I know some of this stuff has already been released on different boots. I feel like Get the Boot had it as well. We have Time to Get Alone, which this part is just brilliant. Let's see. This part. Oh, that's so good. Oh, beautiful. So I believe the vocals were on the Get the Boot bootleg, but of course, when we have an official release, it actually sounds amazing. and a lot better. That kind of just held us over for a couple of years, almost like a decade. There's Never Learn Not to Love. That also seemed to have been an MVP for this set. A lot of people were like, whoa, the song gets a lot of bad rap because of the Manson connection, but this is really good. The track and the backing vocals are amazing, and the a cappella version's great. We get Walk On By, which I always love that version. Another Burt Bacharach song. And we get the instrumental part, which was not on the twofer from Friends in 2020 twofer. It does go into the version that Brian and Dennis sing on from the twofer. Moving on, we get Rendezvous. It's a 2018 mix, which would be, this is Do It Again on the Endless Harmony soundtrack. We're Together Again, a cappella. Great to get that. This also seems to be the huge. So many people are impressed. And I remember hearing about how there was a early version of All I Want to Do with sitar. This is brilliant. This is probably one of the first songs I played when I got this. Loved it. So good. I don't want to play too much of it. I don't want YouTube to get mad at me. But we have Sail Plane Song, which this version, that first version was on an Endless Harmony soundtrack. And then a mix of it came out Made in California, which sounds kind of trippy. Some fans don't like it. I enjoy it. It's kind of an alternative mix to it. We get a ton of Old Man River stuff. We got the a cappella mix from, that would be from Hawthorne as well. And then we get the alternative version and alternative version track, which is partially some stuff that was left out on the twofer bonus track. Great to hear that. It's a lot of fun to hear that. Just like Americana, very like Pet Sounds Smile type production. There's just something about it that's just, I don't know, I love it personally. After that is Walkin', which was also on the Get the bootleg, and it was not totally finished. I know later on through it, you hear Brian say, "I'm done," or something like that. And that was on the bootleg. On this, you don't hear that. What you do hear on this one is something that wasn't on the bootleg, and it was this trumpet line. Skip around there. That part definitely new to my ears. Very cool. Now we know that later moved into Morning Beat from Brian's That Lucky Old Son. I just love that song. That tune is just so cool. The lyrics aren't great, very busy doing nothing type, but it's just bouncing, and I just love that tune. It sounds great. I find myself thinking of that tune over and over again. Finally, we get 8 minutes of Been Way Too Long sessions. And it seems to be this is the puzzle of Brian's that's never going to be fixed or put together. Smiles is put together as much as possible, but Can't Wait Too Long. I don't know. This has some stuff where vocals are taken out, and it's really awesome. Dennis has a few demos. Well, I Knew, which I was saying sounds like a Crosby, Stills and Nash Young song, or just a Neil Young song. Towards the end, it really takes on that sound, and really a pretty cool kind of hip sound, in my opinion. But then again, what I think is hip is the Beach Boys of this time, and they're definitely not hip with it. Then there's a song called Love Affair, which I haven't listened to a lot. There's Peaches, and if you listen to that, you're going to notice something towards the chorus, and it is actually what Never Learn Not to Love turned into. So it's almost like Brian or Dennis had Peaches. Charlie had Cease to Exist. When they put it together, or maybe Dennis put it together, they got Never Learn Not to Love. So as you listen to that, you will hear some lines that sound very similar to Never Learn Not to Love. And then lastly, for Dennis's like demos, there's the gong session, which starts out with the gong, that would be on the beginning of Never Learn Not to Love, and then goes into this like 5-minute charade of just Dennis, it's out there. Talking about cutting his hair off. Like I said, I'm talking through this. I know it's like, come on, dude, stop talking. But listen to this also on Spotify. Yeah, there's some out there bits. I don't know if it's just another trying to be hip at that time, but it's awesome. We got it. That's something I never dreamed we would get. Time to Live in Dreams. That Dennis and Steve Kalinich song. It's a new mix. It was on first came out on the Hawthorne C8 CD. We get some more All I Want to Do and Bluebirds Over the Mountain mixes and basic tracks. Mona Kana, we got the instrumental back on Made in California. And we have a demo as well, which is just like, wow, I did not expect to get a demo from this. And of course, you get a new mix of that on there as well. And then we have a remake of Time to Get Alone on here. And it really is just a remake of the track. And it's very different. I know it doesn't sound different here, but it's got a lot of horns and clarinets going on. And I don't know what this would have been used for, if it was, we're going to remake this from Brian's mix or the Redwood mix, what have you. But pretty much anything that has to do with Time to Get Alone, I am there. That is one of my favorite Beach Boys songs of all time. But that's very different there. Getting towards the end here. Now we have this song, Oh Yeah, which if you have your boots, I believe that's been around for a while. It's just some type of rap ditty that the guys and some kid are putting on. There's not really any information about this, but that's been around for. Hey, Marcus, thanks for watching. So we've had this around for a while, and the next song, be the last song on this, is it true what they say about Dixie, which is another like, holy crap, where did this come from? And and it's like, where did this song come from? I didn't even know it existed. I believe it's a standard, and Audrey Wilson sings it. It's like, whoa. And she sounds great. I know she was using some backing vocals here and there. Beautiful vocals. But man, yeah, I know. Audrey's voice, beautiful. So, yeah, it's just fantastic that we got that. So like I said, this is on Spotify if you want to listen. If you buy it, the Wake the World Friends session disc is just one disc if you burn it to one, and then the 2020 burns to about a disc and a half. So that's a lot of stuff. It's very cool. I will say I have not really listened to the on tour stuff.